Two big games coming up. Wolves, of course, at the Bridge for that point for the Champions League, then the FA Cup final against Arsenal. He's fired up there, your former teammate.
He was fired up, and like we said at half-time with his action, I quite like it. You know, if you're a boxer and you want to fight the champion, you start having little pot shots and you try and throw little things out. And I think that's what he's done at Liverpool there. He's looked at his young team. He's thought, we want to be there in a year, in 2-3 years' time. You know, let them know we want to compete at a playing field. So I think Frank's fired up, but I think he saw enough from his team today in a difficult time where he knows that being a Premier League champion, a few little tweaks here, a few little signings here, it's in the realms of possibility now. I think 12 months ago it wasn't. I think so he's done a fantastic job, regardless of what happens over the next 2 weeks, Frank.
Now, they need a point to be sure of the Champions League. You've said to me a million times over the years, that's a horrible mentality to be as a player. Why?
Well, it's better than needing 3 points, I guess, but I've been in the situation a couple of times where you know going into a game you just need a draw. You just don't know whether to stick or twist or attack or let's sit back, or it's much easier to go into games just doing what you always do, trying to win the game, trying to score goals, trying to stop them. But it gives you a slight little, thought in the back of your mind, oh, should we be attacking here? Should we just be playing defensive and playing for the point? So it's not an easy way to go. Of course, he'll be hoping that results elsewhere go for him as well, but it's a nice position for him to be in. If you'd said for him at the start of the season, you only need a point in your last game at home to Wolves, then he would have snapped your hand off, and it could be a very good season for him. And I thought, today, the way that they're playing, the way they come out and they express themselves is a great sign for the future. I mean, lots of teams can come to Anfield and shut up shop and make it difficult. But if you're going to grow into, potential champions in the future, you've got to do it the right way. You've got to be expressive. You've got to want the ball under pressure. You've got to be brave. And I thought his team showed all those signs tonight.
Joe, you said you enjoyed watching the football game because it was a terrific advert. When we look back at these goals, some talkable moments, some stunning moments as well.
Yeah, plenty of stunning moments. It started here straight in early in the game, Kiter. Like Frank said, it was a turnover that Liverpool were the best of. And that's what we saw from him in Germany. That's what he's all about. Entering the final third of the pitch. Here, lovely touch here. Well, again, a foul from Kovacic. I mean, I think Frank might change his mind when he sees it in slow motion like we've had. Just here, look, he catches his ankle there, and that's enough for it to be a foul. But then you look at Trent. What great ability this is, just to put it in the bottom corner. Question mark over Kepa, but, the more I look at it, Trent, that's going to be a regular occurrence over the next 10 years.
Yeah, just quickly going back to the free kick there, I think you saw Andre Mariner saying you got the ball, but then you followed through, and I think that's exactly what happened. So I thought it was a good decision, but some of the goals today were just sensational. There was great parts in every one. Strange one there. I was just thinking Alisson, if he stays back on his line, I think he tips it over, but he almost rushes at his man there. And all of a sudden it's a reaction and just pops it up in the air.
You loved this one, didn't you?
What about that for a cross? I mean, I often think it's easier to assist than score, as you well know. But that had difficulty level, extremely high. It was brilliant.
What about this, Joe?
It's sensational. And the lad Pulisic, he's grown into his role. He's a slow burner. He's a young lad coming into a new country, and he's been even different class. And here, all great players make time stand still. And me and Mo are sitting there going, get your shot off, get your shot off. But he just took his time and found the corner. It was sensational. And here, I mean, this one here, Robertson, for me, you could have criticised Jorginho slightly here. He knows, he's had a look there, he knows it's Jorginho, so he knows, get in there, make the run. We've seen this from the Liverpool side over the last 3-4 years. Look at the amount of bodies that are broken in the box there at breakneck speed. Oxlade-Chamberlain, box-to-box run in less than 8 or 9 seconds, and great finish at the end of it. It's just that sums up Liverpool's play, that sort of rock and roll football, bodies going everywhere. That goal beautifully sums up their team.
Yeah, and at the end of the game, and even Frank Lampard alluded to it, the bench, the team, it's like they haven't got anything to play for. They can't go any higher at the moment. Yet they're celebrating like this was the game that clinched the title. It's amazing the will to win that they've got, a squad, the camaraderie, and it seems to rile Frank Lampard a little bit.
Yeah,
well.
and the standards that the manager demands. He's obviously said to them, we don't want to be lifting that trophy after all this time, having lost the game and lost our record at Anfield.
Yeah, exactly. And One thing I've learned from training, you can't turn things on and turn things off in football. You can't expect to, go and try one day and then think, not the next. What they're doing is creating and demanding good habits every day in training. Training is breakneck speed every single day, no matter whether they've won the league or not. It's closing. You lose the ball, you close down, you win it back. It's exactly how it is on the pitch. So, it's impossible almost to take the handbrake, put the handbrake on for them, because it's just become second nature now. What happens, and as soon as you lose the ball, it's boom, into different mode. It's win the ball, hunt impacts, get the ball back. And that's what they train every day, playing that way. So it's almost questioning them as people and their integrity and everything else to think it would be otherwise, because that's how they play.
Can you empathise as a champion of the Premier League?
Yeah, and I felt as well when we won the second title, we actually took our foot off the pedal in the last two games. I think we won one and drew one, and I felt it actually hung over. You might think everyone goes away for some holiday, new players come in, players leave, but there was something about us at the start of that next season where we wasn't quite on it. So to finish a season off with that performance, that bodes well for Liverpool next season, that they're back on it now. They scored 5 goals against Chelsea. That takes some doing. So, Michael's right. You can't turn it on or off like a tap.
The ribbons are on. The stage is set.